Welcome back to the channel. King Anan over here, and on this channel I'm creating content about visiting Ghana, moving to Ghana, or possibly living in Ghana. My channel is mostly all about Ghana and Africa, and I want to talk to you today about the life that you're living here in these United States and what you can potentially do different for your life and the life of your family. I'm a family man. I'm married with kids, and I always think about the things that are happening in this country. And when I say the things, I'm talking about black people living in America. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. I lived here since the age of 12. I'm in my 40s right now. So I've lived here a really long time, and I've been able to assess the situations, the different things that often happen to black people and around black people here living in America. And the one thing that I found out, I didn't really understand how black people ended up in this country as a child growing up in Ghana. I used to watch American movies like, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, and all those movies have black people in it. And I never thought in my 8 to 12-year-old mind that how black people ended up here. As a child, I was born in a region of Ghana called Sekondi in the western region, which is right on the coast of Ghana. So it's near the water. I think that's probably like water so much because I was born right by the water. So I was moved by my mother to Accra to live with my aunt at the age of 4. So between the age of 4 and between the age of 12, I used to travel back and forth from Accra to the western region to see my grandmother, with my family, of course. And we used to drive by Cape Coast, which is in the middle of that journey. And as I thought about it as I was growing up, I used to see those buildings, those godforsaken buildings, those slave dungeons where the enslaved, your people, my people, were taken through and shipped over here to the Americas. And I never knew what happened in those buildings. I never knew until the age of 12, 13 years old, sitting in social studies class one day. I opened a textbook, a social studies textbook, and I saw pictures of the enslaved, the dehumanizing pictures of Africans, black people who were brought here to the Americas to work on plantations. And that's how I found out about slavery, because, I wasn't taught in elementary school back in Ghana. It wasn't part of the curriculum at that time. Maybe if I grew up in Ghana, I might have learned about it, but I don't know. So on that day, it was just shocking to me. It was, and I've talked about this in probably the first video that I did, and you can check it out up here. You can learn a little bit more about me. But on that day is when I found out about the transatlantic slave trade and, what happened to the black people here, Africans here in the United States, the atrocities, the trauma, the psychological trauma, the lynchings. I didn't know about any of that. So it was quite shocking to me. On that very day, I went home after school that day and cried, sitting in my bedroom. And at that time, I had just arrived here in the United States about maybe within a couple of months. And it was quite an adjustment for me because back home in Ghana, in Accra, in the household that I grew up in, whenever I went home from school, whenever I walked home from school, there was always somebody home. And coming here to the United States in the apartment that I lived with my mom and dad and my cousin, I arrived home with my cousin and it was just us two. And sometimes, she'd go into her room, I'd go into my room, and we would just do whatever. And it was quite lonely. It was quite a lonely experience for me, so it was quite an adjustment. I remember our apartment used to face these woods, and at that time it was a spring and there were no leaves on the trees or anything like that. And it was such a stark contrast coming from an environment in Ghana where there were palm trees and, those a breeze. The wind was always blowing, it seemed. You could look outside and see people walking up and down the street. to a place like this where it was just gray skies, no leaves on the trees, nothing like that. And it was just a shock. It's just a shock to the system. And also seeing that book, that textbook, was an extra layer of shock that human beings had to be treated this way. Now, I say all this to say that in America, black people have suffered such emotional trauma that most black people in this country don't even realize it. Like we're sitting in this emotional stew of hurt and pain that a lot of black people have internalized, that they just don't know. And I say this to say that open your arms to Africa, open your arms to visiting the continent, especially Ghana, which is my home, and make that trip. You know, some of you have been thinking about it for a long time because you obviously have watched my videos, and if you haven't seen my videos, check out the rest of the content. I've made several videos about going to Ghana and visiting Ghana. You don't have to visit Ghana. Africa is a large continent, so there's 54, 55 countries, but I would love for you to visit Ghana and travel to the slave dungeons, pay your respects to the ancestors. It's going to be an emotional trip. I haven't made that trip to the dungeons because the last time I was in Ghana with my family, we mostly were in Accra, and, there was a lot to do, a lot of people to see because I hadn't been in Ghana for a really long time. But I promise you, and I'm making this promise to myself, that the next time I go to Ghana, God willing, next year, I will make that trip. Because the enslaved that passed through there are my ancestors also, because they came from the area that I was born in. I wasn't born where I was born. Second D was maybe about 2 to 3 hours from Cape Coast. So who knows? My ancestors might have came through there. I don't know. That's the messed up part about all this. It's like we don't know who we are. We don't know who our ancestors are. We do, but then again, we don't. I was inspired to make this video by a lady who lived in Washington, D.C., young professional socialite, was on the Washington, D.C. scene, just like most young people that live in big cities, living their life, have a social circle. You can check out that video up here. It was produced by CBS News. And after a while, she felt that there was something wrong, like this. There was something that she couldn't get off her consciousness. And, that's what I was talking about. It's about this emotional hurt that we're all living in. Because in this country, it feels like every 6 months or a year or so, something happens that triggers black people's emotions. It's almost like there's a proverbial ventriloquist. What do they call it? Someone that pulls the strings or is pushing black people's buttons in this country. So every once in a while, there's something that alarms black people in this country. The last time was Black Lives Matter, the protests a year ago. Who knows what's going to be next time? Either a black person is getting killed, getting put into jail unfairly. It seems like something always happens. So, yeah, I just wanted to get this off my chest because I felt like ever since I saw that video of the lady, Sonia Davis, I believe is her name, it's something that's been on my mind, it's been on my consciousness. Yeah, because if you don't leave America for a while and go out there in the world, it's hard to really see your place in the world as a black person living in America. Because we're really Americans, all Americans. I don't care if you're white, black, Chinese, Indian, American, Indian, or whoever. we live in a pretty insulated country. We think that our viewpoint of the world is the only viewpoint that should exist because we're Americans, right? But yeah, comment below and let me know what you feel about this, because yeah, I need to get out of this place for a while. I mean, America is home. You know, I've lived here for over 31 years, but sometimes I just feel like I need to get out of here, just reconnect back with the motherland, reconnect back with my family, and just be able to breathe, because this country, I feel like it has us trapped. You know, don't you ever get that feeling like you're kind of trapped and you're just doing the mundane, the same thing over and over and over, and you need to do something different every once in a while? Go out there, reconnect, because Africa is the source, is where everything started. And you'll see, once you get there, you'll see the ease at which you're able to breathe, at which you're able to just function. It's just a completely different feeling. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video and just get this off my chest. But yeah, this is your man, King Anon. You're gonna see a video up here of my playlist about Ghana, visiting Ghana, or living in Ghana. So check that out and just enjoy the rest of the content. But yeah, this is your man Anon signing out, and I'll catch you on the next video.